Good morning. Today is Friday, September 6, 2024. Today in history, on this day 502 years ago, Magellan's fleet completed humanity's first circumnavigation of the globe. This voyage, the longest in history, confirmed that the Earth is wrapped by oceans and that they are interconnected, laying the foundation for global shipping routes. Welcome to today's Xing Chao Morning News. Let's start with political updates.
Thailand finalizes new cabinet list. Comprehensive news from Bangkok. Thai Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra announced that all candidates for the new cabinet have passed review, and the list of 35 ministers will soon be submitted to the King of Thailand for final approval. Sources indicate that Finance Minister Pichai Chunhavajira and Foreign Minister Maris Sangiampongsa will remain in their positions, with the new cabinet expected to include 11 additional ministers and deputy ministers. The Pheu Thai Party, previously allied with the pro-military Citizen Power Party, has invited its former rival, the Democratic Party, to join the ruling coalition. Paetongtarn Shinawatra emphasized the need for a stable government to pass legislation and address public issues, noting that support from the Democratic Party will be crucial for achieving these goals. Venezuela relocates over 700 protesters. According to AFP, Venezuelan non-governmental organizations report that authorities have transferred over 700 people arrested after the disputed presidential election to Quito and Tacran prisons, known for their high-security status and notorious conditions. Relatives were not informed of the transfers, and there were numerous irregularities. The election on July 28 saw President Maduro re-elected, according to the National Electoral Commission. The opposition challenged the results, leading to protests. Despite the Supreme Court's validation of Maduro's victory, unrest continues, with over 2,400 arrests during the protests. Israeli PM Netanyahu stands firm on Gaza Strip corridor. According to Reuters and the New York Times, Israeli Defense Minister Galanti recently urged Netanyahu to soften his stance on the Philadelphia corridor, a key issue in negotiations with Hamas. However, Netanyahu stated that Israel must control the Philadelphia corridor, crucial for controlling a key Hamas lifeline. Netanyahu dismissed Galanti last year over disagreements but reinstated him following public outcry. Recently, Galanti and Netanyahu have clashed repeatedly during security cabinet meetings. When asked if he would dismiss Galanti again, Netanyahu said cooperation could continue as long as there was mutual trust. Norway sets world record for EV sales in August. According to Agence France-Presse, electric vehicle sales in Norway reached 94% of the market share in August, setting a new world record. Thorsen, director of the Norwegian Road Federation, stated that no other country has such a high market share for electric vehicles. If this trend continues, Norway could achieve its goal of 100% zero-emission vehicles by 2025. In other parts of Europe, high prices and insufficient infrastructure have slowed electric vehicle sales, while hybrid model sales have risen. Recent data shows that electric vehicle sales in the EU accounted for 12.1% of new cars in July, with gasoline vehicles at 33.4%. Vietnamese passion fruit approved for export to the U.S. According to the Vietnam Communist Party Electronic News, the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development of Vietnam has reached an agreement with the U.S. Department of Agriculture to add Vietnamese passion fruit to the list of fresh fruits allowed for export to the U.S. Vietnam must adhere to strict U.S. food safety and phytosanitary standards, ensuring no pesticide residues, microbial infections, or quality issues during harvesting. Currently, 8 Vietnamese fruits are exported to the U.S., including dragon fruit, mango, longan, lychee, rambutan, milk fruit, coconut, and grapefruit. In the first half of this year, Vietnam's fruit exports to the U.S. totaled approximately $150 million, a 32.4% increase from the previous year. UNICEF issues urgent tender for monkeypox vaccines. According to Xinhua News Agency, UNICEF, Gavi, the African Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, and the World Health Organization recently issued a joint statement announcing that UNICEF has issued an emergency tender for monkeypox vaccines. UNICEF will enter into conditional supply agreements with vaccine manufacturers, allowing procurement and delivery as soon as financing, demand, readiness, and regulatory requirements are met. Additionally, UNICEF will collaborate with the Pan-American Health Organization, Gavi, the African CDC, and World Health Organization to encourage high-income countries to donate vaccines from existing stocks. The prefrontal cortex, responsible for higher thought, ages most rapidly. According to German news, researchers recently discovered that the prefrontal cortex, responsible for high-level thinking, is the most vulnerable to aging-related damage. Researchers from the University of Düsseldorf and other institutions compared brain MRI data from 480 humans and 189 chimpanzees across various ages. The prefrontal lobe, located in the forehead and front of the brain, is part of the frontal cortex and is involved in planning, decision-making, social interactions, and language skills. This structure, a recent evolutionary development, provides humans with unique cognitive advantages. The research sheds light on aging mechanisms and the effects of neurodegenerative diseases on the brain.
Xinhua Daily reports that the main PTA futures contract, 2,501, has recently fallen sharply by 5.06%, closing at 5,140 yuan ton. That's all for today's Qingchao Morning News. Thanks for watching. Join us at the same time tomorrow.